Something unbelievable has already started in your life, and you haven't even realized it yet. Right now, beneath the routine of your day, something is moving in your favor. Life has already begun rearranging itself around a moment you're headed toward. But here's the part no one ever talks about. There's one specific thing that always appears right before someone steps into the unimaginable, and most people miss it completely. There's a reason you've been feeling restless lately. Not anxious, activated. Your late-night thoughts haven't been random. Your sudden bursts of clarity, your urge to change something, your sense that you're meant for more, these aren't mood swings. They're signals. Signals that your inner world is picking up on a shift your outer world hasn't revealed yet. You're not imagining it, you're responding to the beginning of a storyline that is finally ready to unfold around you. Something bigger has been trying to get your attention, piece by piece, moment by moment. This moment feels strangely familiar, even if you can't explain why. That's because long before this lifetime unfolded, you agreed to step into something bigger than anything you've lived so far. A silent deal between you and the universe itself. You didn't sign it with words. You signed it with willingness, with potential, with the kind of inner strength that only shows up in people who are meant to do what others can't. And now that agreement is finally activating. The pressure you've felt these past weeks, the repeating signs, the strange alignment of events, those aren't random coincidences, they're reminders. You're being called into the very chapter you promised you'd face the moment you were strong enough to handle it. This is why the unimaginable doesn't feel foreign. It feels overdue. You're not stumbling into a miracle. You're stepping into something that has been waiting for your arrival for years. Destiny doesn't chase you. It waits until you rise to the version of yourself that can claim it. What's coming next isn't an accident, a stroke of luck, or a happy surprise. It's compensation. It's the universe honoring the courage you've shown in moments no one else saw. You didn't just earn this breakthrough, you're owed it. And the moment you accept that, everything starts shifting faster. But before the universe delivers anything extraordinary, it always checks one thing first: your readiness. And that's why the chapter right before the breakthrough almost always feels like the chapter that tries to break you. If the last stretch of your life has felt heavy, uncertain, or like everything was closing in at once, you're not failing, you're being forged. Every major breakthrough has a pressure point before it, a moment where life tests whether you're committed to the path you claimed or if you're willing to walk away right before the miracle hits. This isn't punishment, it's calibration. It's the universe asking, "Are you sure you want what you asked for?" And most people crumble here because they think the chaos is a sign to give up. But it's the opposite. Your darkest moments aren't endings. They're the final edits before the story turns in your favor. If you've been feeling hopeless, numb, overwhelmed, or confused, it's not a sign that you're off track. It's a sign that the old version of you is reaching its expiration date. Before life hands you what you've been preparing for, it forces you to release the identity that wouldn't survive the next chapter. Breakdowns before breakthroughs aren't poetic metaphors, they're structural, they're necessary. They're the universe tightening the screws before the launch. And if you're seeing this right now, it means the collapse wasn't meant to end you. It was meant to clear the ground for what you're finally about to build. One thing that always happens right before someone steps into their unimaginable moment is this. The world around them still thinks they're the version they used to be. People who haven't grown alongside you will always measure you by outdated metrics. They look at your past decisions, your old habits, your quieter seasons, and they assume that's all there is to you. They underestimate you because they're basing their judgment on a chapter you've already outgrown. Right now, there are people in your life who have no idea who you're becoming. They still see the person who struggled, who hesitated, who doubted themselves. They don't see the nights you stayed awake working on yourself. They don't see the thoughts you've been wrestling with. They don't see the internal shifts that have reshaped the way you move through the world. And they can't. They're not supposed to. People don't notice your evolution until it disrupts the version of you they were comfortable with. Some will interpret your silence as weakness, your patience as stagnation, your rebuilding as failure. They'll think you've fallen behind when, in reality, you've just gone underground long enough to regrow the foundation you needed. And that's why the unimaginable works so well. It catches everyone off guard, not because you weren't capable, but because they weren't paying attention. You're living in a moment where your potential is expanding faster than your surroundings can register it. You're crossing an internal threshold that others simply can't see yet. And when people misjudge you at this stage, it's not a sign that you're off track. It's confirmation that your growth is happening in layers they don't have access to. If anything, their misunderstanding becomes fuel, because every time you're underestimated, you gain freedom. Freedom to rise without their expectations hovering over you. Freedom to shift without being questioned. Freedom to transform without anyone trying to interrupt the process. But here's the real twist. They underestimate you because they assume you're walking the same predictable path they are, not realizing you're about to take a route that almost no one ever reaches. Breakthroughs don't belong to the fastest. They don't belong to the ones who had the clearest plan, the easiest resources, or the loudest confidence. They belong to the ones who didn't quit. And whether you fully recognize it yet or not, you've already done something that separates you from the majority of people who start the same journey. You stayed. When the excitement wore off, you stayed. When life stopped giving you obvious milestones, you stayed. When the path felt confusing, uneven, or even pointless, you still kept moving. Most people don't make it past those phases. You did. There were moments where nothing made sense, moments where you questioned your direction, moments where your effort wasn't producing results. And it would have been easy, almost logical, to step back and convince yourself it wasn't meant to be. But you didn't. You kept showing up even when the path gave you nothing to work with. That level of endurance is rare. It's the kind of inner strength that can't be taught, only revealed. This is the part of the journey most people misunderstand. They think achieving the unimaginable is about skills, talent, timing, or external advantages. It's not. The unimaginable only opens for the ones who can withstand the long corridor, the period where progress is invisible, where support is minimal, and where patience gets tested more than motivation. This corridor is lonely, silent, and frustrating. It strips away illusions. It reveals who is only in love with the idea of the destination and who is committed to the process itself. And you've proven again and again that you are someone who doesn't fold when the lights go out. Greatness is never about how quickly you moved. It's about how long you kept walking when nothing rewarded you for it. Most people fail not because they aren't capable, but because they exit that corridor before the door appears. They tap out right before the opportunity forms. They settle for something smaller because the waiting became too heavy. They let impatience drown their potential. But you didn't take the shortcut. You didn't settle for comfort. You didn't trade long-term reward for short-term relief. And that's exactly why this next chapter is available to you in a way it isn't for everyone else. Your endurance has carved out a path that doesn't exist for the average person. It's not a path you can find in books or tutorials. It's not a path someone hands to you. It's the kind of path that shows up only when someone has consistently shown life they won't leave before the story completes itself. That's what you've been doing this whole time. With every step you took, when nothing pushed you forward, every decision you made without validation, every moment you trusted a direction without evidence. This is why your breakthrough isn't random. It's structural. It's a response to every moment you refuse to collapse under pressure. It's a direct consequence of you choosing persistence over convenience. Your unimaginable moment isn't just a miracle waiting to happen. It's the next logical stage of a journey you've already proven you're committed to. You're not being chosen by chance. You're being chosen because you've passed tests most people never even reach. Momentum is one of the most misunderstood stages of a breakthrough because it rarely starts with anything loud or spectacular. It begins subtly, slipping into your life through patterns most people dismiss because they expect big change to arrive with drama. But the truth is, major shifts almost always start as quiet rearrangements, little alignments, small wins, strange coincidences, and unexpected timing that reveal a deeper force is already at work. You might notice conversations happening at the perfect moment, as if life is prompting you. You might find yourself thinking about someone and suddenly they reach out. Opportunities you weren't even looking for start appearing. You overhear something useful at the exact time you need it. Even the smallest events begin to feel like they're part of a bigger pattern that's forming around you. These subtle threads are part of a larger weave, one that you're finally starting to become aware of. And what makes this stage so powerful is that it's not driven by effort. It's driven by alignment. You're not forcing things to happen. Things are happening around you because you've stepped into the right internal position. When your internal world shifts, your external world reorganizes itself automatically. That's why certain things suddenly feel smoother, or why next steps present themselves without you having to chase them. You might notice more synchronicities than usual, repeating numbers, meaningful symbols, uncanny timing. These aren't mystical decorations. They're indicators that your path and your potential are beginning to line up. They're markers that you're in motion, even if nothing huge has happened yet. Life shows momentum through precision, not noise. And when precision increases, it's a sign that your breakthrough has already started unfolding. Even your own mind begins to change. Ideas come easier, decisions feel clearer. You might feel pulled towards something without understanding why. That inner pull is one of the strongest indicators that momentum is gaining strength, because it means your intuition is recognizing the path before your logic catches up. And once momentum reaches this stage, the shift becomes unavoidable. You can delay it, you can question it, you can doubt it, but you can't stop it. You've already moved too close to the turning point for life to bring you back to where you started. The wheels are in motion, the pieces are moving, and the storyline is tightening around a breakthrough that was always meant for you. What comes next is only possible because the universe has seen enough alignment, enough readiness, enough consistency to take you into the next phase. The phase where it no longer tests if you want something, but if you can hold it. A lot of people misunderstand what it really means to be tested before a breakthrough. They assume the universe is checking whether they can suffer enough, endure enough, or stay positive through hardship. But that's not the real test at all. The universe isn't interested in how much pain you can carry, it's interested in how much power you can carry. The true test is the test of capacity. Every unimaginable breakthrough comes with weight. The weight of new opportunities, new responsibilities, new versions of yourself you haven't met yet. And before that breakthrough becomes available, the universe evaluates something far more important than your desire. It evaluates whether you have the internal space, the discipline, the steadiness, and the emotional bandwidth to hold what's coming without collapsing under it. Capacity isn't built in loud moments. It's built in quiet adjustments. The subtle ways you've been learning to choose differently. The way you've stopped entertaining the people and habits that drain you. The way you've started trusting your own judgment instead of outsourcing your decisions. The way you've developed patience, resilience, perspective. All of this is capacity, and all of it has been preparing you for the moment you're stepping into now. Your breakthrough doesn't arrive when life gets easier. It arrives when you become stronger. What you don't realize is that your capacity has been expanding without any grand announcement. You've had moments recently where you handled something with clarity that would have overwhelmed you last year. You've navigated setbacks without spiraling. You've made decisions that required courage even when certainty wasn't available. You've maintained direction even when the path blurred. None of that was accidental. Every moment refined you. Every challenge increased your emotional stamina. Every choice sculpted your readiness. This is why the timing of this message matters. You're encountering these words at the very point where your inner capacity has finally crossed the invisible line the universe has been watching. You may not see the difference in yourself day to day, but the universe does. It notices when you can now hold situations that once broke you. It notices when you stop shrinking from opportunities. It notices when you carry yourself like someone who's capable of receiving more, not because you're perfect, but because you're stable. This threshold is the unlock. People think the universe waits for them to be lucky, but it actually waits for them to be ready. And you are ready in a way you've never been before. You've outgrown the version of yourself that wasn't equipped for the next level. You've stretched your mind, your emotional resilience, your personal standards, and your internal structure. You've built a container that can finally hold the magnitude of what you've been asking for. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you have the capacity to sustain. And now, without you even noticing it happen, your capacity and your destiny are finally matching frequencies. This is why everything is about to accelerate. Not because the universe suddenly changed its mind, but because you finally became the person capable of carrying what you once could only imagine. This is the moment that shifts the entire storyline, not because something outside you transformed, but because you did. People love to believe that life changes because the universe simply decides it's time. But what's unfolding for you right now has nothing to do with randomness or luck falling into place. The truth is far more powerful. This shift is happening because of you. Because of everything you've been doing in the background, in silence, in moments where no one clapped or even noticed. Most people underestimate the weight of their own efforts. They think their small choices don't matter. Their inner work goes unseen. Their desires drift unnoticed. But the universe isn't blind. It responds to consistency, to resilience, to the quiet evolution of someone who refuses to settle. And that's exactly what you've been doing. Even in times you doubted yourself. You've been wishing for better, yes, but you've also been making space for better, even if you didn't realize it. You've been clearing old beliefs, walking away from situations that suffocated your potential, holding on to hope when it would have been easier to shut down. You've been aligning your inner world with the very reality you want to step into. That's why things are finally shifting. The timing didn't create this breakthrough. You did. Your willingness created it. Your openness created it. Your persistence created it. Most people ask the universe for things while staying closed off to receiving them. You did the opposite. You opened the door long before anything knocked. Your blessings didn't find you by accident. They're arriving because you finally became someone who can recognize them. Think about how many times you were discouraged and kept going anyway. How many times you wanted to shrink but chose growth instead. How many times you questioned everything but still pushed forward, even if it was slowly, even if it was imperfectly. That's the kind of movement the universe responds to. Not perfection, permission. And you gave it. The unimaginable isn't coming into your life because the stars aligned at a random moment. The stars aligned because you reached a point in your journey where you could finally receive what you once only wished for. You aren't being given this moment, you are meeting it. And here's what makes this even more powerful. What's about to unfold is not a miracle that just happens to you. It's the natural outcome of the person you've become. It's your strength materializing. It's your patience taking form. It's your inner growth turning outward. It's the universe mirroring your readiness back to you. You didn't stumble into this chapter. You built it, brick by brick, choice by choice, belief by belief. And now, the shift you've been sensing isn't just near, it's already forming because you're finally aligned with the version of yourself who can handle, hold, and honor everything you once prayed for. The breakthrough is not ahead of you, it's rising because of you. And if you're still watching, I want to thank you. Your time, your attention, it matters. And I don't take it lightly. The fact that you stayed until this point tells me you're someone who's been carrying more than you show, someone who's been pushing forward even when it hasn't been easy. And I know it may have been hard for you lately, maybe heavier than you expected, maybe lonelier than you'd ever admit. But you have to listen to me. Keep your head up. You're not moving through all of this for nothing. Something in your story is shifting, even if the world hasn't revealed the evidence yet. These quiet moments, where something actually reaches you, are rare. And if anything in this message touched you, even a sentence, then the change you've been waiting on is already closer than you realize. So as you move forward from here, don't rush yourself. Don't force clarity. Don't pressure yourself to have the entire path figured out. Just stay open. Stay honest with yourself. The rest, the breakthrough, the relief, the unimaginable, it has a way of finding you exactly when you're finally strong enough to receive it.